TIL Native Americans used controlled fires to manage the land. These prescribed burns decreased the impact/frequency of damaging wildfires, boosted agricultural production, helped with hunting, and reduced tick populations. I am amazed that this isn't common knowledge. I am from a generation of farmers who have always used fire for land management and crop production. Everywhere I have lived for the past 4 decades has been strictly opposed to the use of prescribed burning because public perception sees fire as bad. I did a project on this. There's a massive misconception that Europeans discovered a virgin wilderness upon arrival to the Americas. Natives had been sustainably modifying the land for thousands of years before any European made it there. Also, I preached that the old methods and practices of human environmental relationships should inspire the current. Exactly the same in Australia. After the megafires this year, Aboriginal experts with controlled burning, which they have done for over 100 years, have been trying to get the government on board with slow controlled burning that allows wildlife to escape the area. There is stuff all land management done here, then we wonder why the fires are so bad. You had me at reduce the tick population. The state of California used to do the same thing. California has been burning and mudsliding for centuries. First Peoples in Australia did the same thing. However, down here no amount of such management is enough to prevent what has happened this year. You have several factors. 1. Development getting in the way of operations. Not allowed to burn buildings or infrastructure. Record heat and dry conditions making hazard reduction burns irrelevant. Controlled burns reduce risk by reducing ground matter. Come January, fires were jumping through trees and not even touching the ground anymore. Successive governments refusing to fund expansion plans like actual professional staff. RFS here is actually mostly volunteers, or buying water bombing planes. TLDR, strategies that used to work may not work anymore because humans and stuff. I'm a firefighter in a heavily forested area of the country. It chaps my ass to no end when I hear people in my community simultaneously freak out how large and destructive fires are, and then piss and bitch and moan every time we have a nice calm early season prescribed fire. Like bitch, if we set this forest on fire when it was still green it wouldn't have burned all the way to your house, but since you complained and we didn't. Wish the feds would show them how it's done. 58% of CA forests are owned by the federal government. It's getting harder and harder to do controlled burns. Not only is there the environmental study required, there is less rain in affected areas, making it more dangerous to do those burns, compounding the problem. Do you guys not learn this stuff in elementary school? Logging isn't as evil as people are led to believe. You can let some trees be harvested or you can leave it to add to a massive forest fire in the future. Obviously you can't allow stripping every tree or of an area, but you can do maybe half. Wow. I thought this was common knowledge. Also this thread is full of people who think controlled burns don't happen in California. Of course they do. Not as much as they need to due to a number of reasons. And the responsibility for them is mainly the province of federal agencies, not local or state or ones. It's not California politicians getting in the way somehow. These forests are mostly federal land. COVID has actually played a role in their reduction this year. Read this article from March. Will coronavirus precautions hamper our ability to fight California wildfires later? https://www. desertson.com/story/news/2020/03/25/coronavirus halt controlled burns may lead California wildfires/28918440001/. In the American West, historically, we would have a low severity burn every 2 to 5 years that would burn through any available fuel, kill of understory plants, and leave the big trees alone. Moderate severity fires occurred 7-10 years and would burn some large trees and, again, burn all the built-up fuel in the understory. A severe fire historically only occurred every 15 to 25 years and would decimate mature trees. Severe fires are what we are seeing now in California, Oregon, and Washington, among other places. So what changed? Well, we got really good at responding to fires quickly and putting them out quickly. The Urban Wildlife Interface, UWI, pushed into places that were in historical severe fire regimes as humans expanded. When we put out fires quickly, the fires don't get to burn all the fuel in the understory and it starts to build up. At a certain point, the fuel reaches a point that it allows the fire to jump the fuel ladder from the ground into the upper branches of mature trees. These fires can form crown fires which are super scary and can move at 60 mph plus. Combine this fuel-rich scenario with human expansion into places where severe fires occur and you have our current fire regime. So what can we do? Good question. More prescribed burns and better forest management are the easy answers. Hire saw crews to take down dead trees, great source of sustainable hardwoods, BTW, mandate fire breaks around urban developments, and build houses/structures out of fire-resistant materials. Also, listen to your meteorologists and if they say evacuate, freaking evacuate. The hard answer is to address the underlying climatological reasons we get super wet rainy seasons, that let massive amounts of fuel to build up, and super arid dry seasons, that help massive wildfires spread. I'm environmental scientist/atmospheric chemist, so feel free to ask any questions about fire regimes, wildlife smoke, our atmosphere, etc. I'll put up some neat links when I get to my computer later. Without as many fires, composition of some forests in the PNW has changed too. Madronas need fires to clear out competitors and can survive fire better themselves. They are under more stress now. https://en Wikipedia, org/wiki/arbutus_menzci #conservation, https://en Wikipedia, org/wiki/arbutus_menzci #conservation. Imagine being out in the forests in the expanse of a Native American tribal home. Imagine knowing that tonight is the night the fires will be set and then waiting and seeing the entire plain ablaze. It must have been magical. I bet they had cool parties. Oh, you mean slash and burn technique. Wow, I learned this in the 5th grade. There's some species of pine that only drop their seeds after they have been on fire. Literally, tree species survival relies on forest fires. https://www. Britannica.com/list/5 amazing adaptations of pyrophytic plants. There is a technique being proposed to improve agricultural practices, reduce water usage, and sequester CO2 from the atmosphere called biochar. I've seen some interesting work done in poor soil systems that show a lot of promise, but it hasn't caught on in a big way yet. This is still practiced in Oklahoma. Here is a park that does it. https://www. nature.org/enus/get involved/how to help/places we protect/JT Nickel Family Nature and Wildlife Preserve/. They do this everywhere in America. The key word here is controlled. Florida still does this. Yeah, fuck ticks. This is very true. However, recently it's become difficult to conduct these prescribed burns due to inadequate weather to conduct such operations safely. No one wants to be the incident commander that has a pea burn turn into a wildfire. I'm pretty sure that indigenous Australians did this too, right? I imagine California would do it more if rural residents weren't so opposed to it. You know, the ones losing their property because of wildfires. Also, feds need to pump up forestry budget. They should have just swept their leaves. I encourage everyone here to listen to the super interesting podcast episode about how we essentially do fire management wrong, https://99% invisible. org/episode/built to burn/. That great and all, but we're beyond reach in California for land management. The few months we get in between fire season isn't enough to make an impact. We'd need incredible fuels force that the state can't fund.